In the realm of leadership, what sets apart the ordinary from the extraordinary? This question leads us to an exploration of ethical leadership, a concept that has gained growing significance in recent times. Ethical leadership is not just about being in a position of power, it's about using that power to create a positive impact, to foster growth, and to inspire others. It's about leading with honesty, integrity, and an unwavering dedication to societal welfare. At the heart of this concept, we find a beacon of inspiration, the Prophet Muhammad. His life and teachings provide a profound model of ethical leadership, demonstrating how one can lead with principle, compassion, and humility. His leadership was not marked by grandeur or ostentation. Rather, it was characterized by a deep-rooted commitment to the welfare of his community and a dedication to uphold the values of honesty and integrity. In a world where leadership is often associated with authority and control, the Prophet's model of leadership offers a contrasting perspective. It reminds us that true leaders are those who serve their communities, who lead not by asserting dominance, but by embodying the values they advocate. It urges leaders to be models of moral conduct, to inspire their followers through their actions, and to make decisions that are guided by a sense of responsibility towards the collective good. The Prophet's leadership model, steeped in ethical values, serves as a timeless guide for leaders across the world. It invites us to reflect on the essence of leadership, to reevaluate our understanding of power, and to strive towards a leadership style that is rooted in ethical principles. As we delve deeper into the life and teachings of the Prophet, we uncover valuable insights into how we can build trust, promote integrity, and effectively serve our communities. How does one inspire others to embrace ethical values? That's a question every leader grapples with. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had a simple yet profound answer: lead by example. His life is a shining testament to the power of demonstrating ethical values through one's actions. Picture a leader who, despite his status, never shied away from the most menial tasks. A leader who, in the spirit of humility, would help his followers sweep their courtyards or mend their shoes. That was the Prophet. His humility was not a performance but a deeply ingrained personal value that he lived out every day. His personal integrity too was unassailable. Even before his prophethood, he was known as Al-Amin, or the Trustworthy, a testament to his reputation for honesty and dependability. His words were as good as his deeds, and he was resolute in his commitment to truth even when it was uncomfortable or inconvenient. Now consider the profound impact of these actions. His followers didn't just hear about humility and integrity, they saw these values in action. They saw their leader living out the principles he preached, reinforcing the power and importance of ethical conduct. One might ask, why does leading by example matter? Well, it's about inspiring trust and fostering a culture of integrity. When a leader's words align with their actions, it sends a powerful message. Ethical values are not just abstract principles to be discussed, but tangible practices to be lived out. The Prophet's model of leadership was not about dictating values from a lofty pedestal. Instead, he walked the path of those values, inviting others to follow his lead. He understood that true leadership is not about commanding respect, but about earning it through consistent demonstration of one's values. His actions spoke louder than words, inspiring his followers to emulate his ethical values. So, as leaders seeking to nurture integrity and trust, let's remember the power of leading by example. It's about showing, not just telling. It's about living the values we wish to see in others. What role does inclusivity play in ethical leadership? Let's delve into the Prophet Muhammad's approach. He was a leader who believed in the power of diverse perspectives, fostering an environment of mutual respect and consultation. His leadership wasn't a one-man show. Rather, it was a collective effort. His wisdom was in recognizing that decisions made in isolation often lack the richness and depth that come from incorporating varied viewpoints. This inclusive decision-making process was not just about reaching consensus, but about valuing every voice, every idea. This approach underlined a commitment to the collective welfare of his community. It wasn't merely about what was best for a select few, but what was best for all. And in doing so, he fostered a sense of shared responsibility and ownership among his followers. Inclusivity and respect for diversity were intrinsic to the Prophet's model of ethical leadership. It served as a reminder that true leadership is about embracing everyone, acknowledging their worth, and making them feel valued. How does justice define ethical leadership? This question leads us to the heart of Prophet Muhammad's leadership model, where justice served as the bedrock of his ethos. The Prophet was known for his unwavering commitment to justice. He championed equity and fairness, ensuring that all members of society were treated justly. This commitment was not limited to the privileged or the majority, but extended to each and every individual, regardless of their social status or background. In a world often divided by differences, the Prophet's leadership model reminds us of the fundamental truth that all individuals are deserving of equal respect and fair treatment. His emphasis on justice was far-reaching, transcending the boundaries of personal relationships and extending into the realm of societal norms and expectations. Prophet Muhammad's commitment to justice was not a hollow declaration, it was an active, lived practice. He didn't simply preach about justice, he embodied it. His actions, decisions, and teachings consistently upheld the principles of fairness and equality. He demonstrated that justice is not just about making fair decisions, but also about creating an environment where everyone feels valued, heard, and respected. This commitment to justice, even in the face of adversity, stands as a powerful testament to ethical leadership. It underscores the importance of integrity and the courage to stand up for what is right, even when it is difficult. It reminds us that ethical leadership is not about convenience or popularity. It's about doing what is right, fair, and just. The Prophet's model of ethical leadership teaches us that justice is not an optional aspect of leadership, but a foundational principle. It challenges us to question our own biases, to strive for fairness in our actions, and to work towards creating environments that uphold the dignity and worth of all individuals. Justice was the cornerstone of Prophet Muhammad's ethical leadership. It's a powerful reminder that justice and equity are not just ideals to aspire to, but essential components of ethical leadership. How can compassion and empathy build trust within communities? Let's delve into the life of the Prophet Muhammad to find an answer. He lived a life characterized by compassion and empathy, key qualities that enriched his model of ethical leadership. His kindness knew no bounds. It extended to all individuals, irrespective of their backgrounds. Whether they were rich or poor, strong or weak, his compassion enveloped them all. It was this universal kindness that helped him build strong bonds with everyone around him. But his empathy didn't stop at kindness. He had the ability to feel the pain of others, to understand their struggles, and most importantly, to extend a helping hand when they needed it the most. His empathy for those in need was a clear demonstration of his profound commitment to his community. These qualities of compassion and empathy were not just attributes, but tools that fostered connections and trust within his community. Compassion and empathy were integral to the Prophet's leadership, fostering connections and trust within his community. How can the Prophet's model of ethical leadership be applied in today's world? That's the question we're exploring now. By taking historical insights from the Prophet's life and teachings, we can draw parallels to the challenges faced by leaders in our modern era. Consider this. The Prophet's emphasis on honesty and integrity is a principle that holds true across all fields, from politics to business to community initiatives. Today, leaders who embody these values foster a culture of trust and respect, much like the Prophet did in his time. Furthermore, his approach to inclusive decision-making and justice is especially relevant in our diverse, interconnected world where every voice matters. Leaders who embrace this inclusive approach cultivate a sense of belonging and fairness in their communities. And let's not forget about the Prophet's compassion and empathy, which are fundamental in building connections and trust within teams and societies. In our modern, complex world, the Prophet's model of ethical leadership remains a beacon of inspiration and guidance. How can leaders nurture integrity and trust in their leadership? This question is central to ethical leadership, and the Prophet's model provides a timeless guide. The essence of the Prophet's leadership was, at its core, a commitment to honesty and integrity. He earned trust by being consistently truthful, fair, and reliable. Aspiring leaders can emulate this by being transparent in their actions, accountable for their decisions, and by standing firm in their values, even when faced with adversity. Compassion and humility were also key. The Prophet demonstrated empathy towards all, fostering a sense of belonging and respect within his community. Leaders can cultivate these qualities by actively listening to others, understanding their needs, and treating everyone with kindness and equity. Lastly, justice. The Prophet treated all members of society justly, regardless of their status. In the same vein, leaders should champion fairness and equality to create an environment of trust and respect. By embodying the values of honesty, compassion, humility, and justice, leaders can foster a more just and compassionate society.